Evening, everyone. Maniac for Bricks here. Having a little mock walk of BrickFair, Virginia. This area actually isn't going to have too many mocks, but still give you something to take a look at all the way around. Most of the area in this second hall of BrickFair, Virginia is about the vendors, some activities, a few games, little building opportunities, and there are some mocks that we'll get to. I think, beep, beep, I got some going this way. There's still some assembly, so not everything will be up yet, but I thought I'll get a little head start here and there. Just gotta find, okay, not that way. Bye-bye. I don't know which way I'm going. I probably should have walked through here in advance. Kicking the tripod. Oops. Let's see. Nope. Oh, here we are. I believe this is around the castle area, or at least it's almost entirely castle themed. I did see a Sega there. How's it going? Got a Peach anime fan. Nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. And let's twist the camera around. First one, we got Eric's World. You might have known him from YouTube, Instagram, and he's got something called Blue Lion Knights Kingdom Defense. First of all, you got a nice name there and really nice setup. It's got a combination of traditional castle town kind of layout. Along the bridge, I'll get a close up. This is a fun thing in there. And you've got like an outer village area, a little bit of everything. Let's see. Lion Knights are faced against an aggressive foe. They're trying to take over the kingdom to overthrow the Blue Lion Knights. Neat. Brick Rookie, nice to see you, and thanks for the shout out on Instagram. Much appreciated. So one thing I'd like to zoom in on here is right at the bridge. You might recognize a few faces. I'm not saying any of them are me. I actually didn't find myself yet on here. But around here, in this area or so, going through the bridge, we have several sig figs from the community. I wonder if you guys can find out who they are. I'm trying to look around to see. It's like some going right through the portcullis. I think I recognize. There's Artoy World. I see Eightfall Man. I see Dalek Bricks. I see. I'm not sure what that one was. Is that two? It looks like it's almost three of them that look like Artoy Worlds, but they're slightly different by the pants or by the head. So I could be wrong about that. Also, I might have punched in the camera there. My bad. I think that was Haley Bricks. I see Bob Ross. And I see... Well, that looks like Lego Freak right there. I'm somewhere around, I'm sure. And I'm not saying that because... Whatever. I mean, I talked with Eric earlier today when going over this mock. And, yeah, it's all good. There was also a hidden one in here. Kind of hidden. As Eric told me, the one on top of this structure is BFAB, which I just find hilarious, the way he looks there with the breadsticks and the fake mustache. Nicely done. So, about the actual mock, this is actually pretty cool, because I really like that from the side, it's kind of hard to tell, but there are kind of two floors in this thing. I asked him about it, and he was able to show me, like, taking a few sections off where, like, this roof pops off and there's a floor. Then one underneath it that pops off, so that would be basically ground level. What do you mean, Sega? 3 times in one day? Look, we went out for breakfast. I don't know how we decided to go out for lunch again, but we did, and several people joined us. After that, I was like, you know what? We've already done breakfast and lunch. Personally, I'm going dinner too. So yes, I now can officially say I've been to Chick-fil-A for every meal in one day. I just want that. That's all I want. There are some people that have gone more. Some people go once, maybe once a day even. Nothing wrong with that. you know? And when your nearest Chick-fil-A is half an hour away and you know it's going to be busy, I'm taking advantages of this as much as I can. I think it's actually 4 or 5 times I've now been to Chick-fil-A just at BrickFair, Virginia. So that's fun. Going back onto this, I haven't seen the inside of this model yet, but I do appreciate the color scheme of it. Haven't seen that color too often for buildings inside of a castle town, and I like the way everything is shaped around. I believe this is supposed to be a church. I'm just getting the impression by how it's built, but I could be wrong. But very fascinating either way. I don't know much about the rest of it as far as interior or anything, but I still like what's done here for what its size is. Is it? Well, yeah, I know that, but you know I don't live by the beach house. I say 30 minutes away. I'm talking about from North Jersey, not South. So, Sega, get off my back. Anywho, I forgot I can do this little thing called flow. Right there. Yeah, there we go. Don't even have to move the tripod. There we go. Actually, an interesting idea for a cornfield, where you have all the Technic pins, half pins, on top of each other to stand up the corn, with the bar elements. I like the stable that's put in here. You might actually see something running through here. A lot of eggs. I asked him jokingly, are these supposed to be Easter eggs? And yeah, Eric confirmed that. He said that there's a certain number of them all throughout the MOC, and if you find them all, he'll give you a congratulations. So yeah, it's a fun thing to look through and see all of them, or even if you're not looking at first, you might just find it funny to just see them scattered around. But just jealous. I wish I had much. Yeah, it was good. So I finally tried at Chick-fil-A it was like a chicken biscuit or something. That was okay. Then there was like a miniature version of it where I was like, I don't know, something about the bread. Not that I hated it, but that mixed with the chicken, I just wasn't sure about, so I ate them separately because I'm weird like that. But the other times it was your standard nuggets, your nugs. I'm going to move this around. Nice bar in there as well. One thing I do like in a lot of castle MOCs and castle towns and villages is how they do all of these lines on the structures. I don't know if there's a word for it, but it's nicely done here. Tree of Ore, nice to see you up and awake. Also a fun thing in here is this little battle damage. Kind of like its own older castle, yellow castle kind of reference there, it looks like. A lot of damage, but it's also fun that there's actually some other factions in here, fighting. You see the Dragon Knights breaking through, and the castle town proper is looking very nice too. Like this little area, I like how everything's done there. You even got the windows and doors boarded up because of the troops going through. That's cool. Nicely done. Very nicely done. This one does not have a name or a person I can attribute to, but a lot of variety, a lot of interesting minifigures all throughout here. There we go. But, there we go. Yeah, now I can do that. I got fancy tricks up my sleeves. So, yeah, straightforward. But you can look at every one of these minifigures and see interesting combinations of parts. No one of these has truly come from an official Lego set, which I find pretty cool. And I like that it's a mix between, factions. There's different years I can tell for some of the knights. And yes, I am Sega, because I'm certainly not going to hold my camera. I'm not going to hold my camera steady if I were walking around with this. All right, this one we have an attribute. House of the Lonely Emirate. I believe I'm saying that right. By Zane from Pennsylvania. Secluded deep in the Sylvian forest, an exiled druid lives a reclusive life. Some nice work there. Some nice organic rock work along the side. One thing that's cool I've learned recently is how people make all of these shapes and angles in rocks, where a lot of it is just built sideways, but they'll add, like, you can see all this is turned to the side. This one, majorly turned to the side. And then this, and it just kind of like keeps going out like that, and giving it a more organic feel. Even got a couple steps all through here, layering, which is pretty good. Nicely done on the well. BFAB. Eventually I will. If you don't sleep, I don't sleep. Series of logs along the side, and the house, while I can't see the inside, I do appreciate the door. I do like when people build the custom doors, so you can see like the actual hinges on there. Not just hinge plates, but like what the door would be like if it were to open. Like a big bolted lock or something. Nicely done. I'm curious if there's going to be more to it. Like if there's something along this side that might come up. The druid himself perhaps appearing. All right. Well, I hope it's relaxing. BFAB. But I'm just basically covering the second hall, where there's just a handful of MOCs already in here. I know some will be improved over the next day or so. I'm probably going to float around the convention center through Thursday, trying to figure out the nerf stuff of like who's willing and when to do it and all that jazz. But for the next one, we have the Battle of Volgarab from Nicholas from Virginia. And I got to point this out before we go into the MOC, but still try to get everything in frame. What we got here? We need to get our notes. I think you said you were going to be there, Sega. I think you said you were coming down like one of the days. But okay. So now we got this all nicely in view. I'd just like to point out the frequently asked questions ending with no. That already is a solid presentation. Is this Lord of the Rings? No. Is this Star Wars? I don't even know how somebody would get Star Wars out of this, but no. Is this Pirates? No. Yeah, well, okay. Do you know how many pieces were used? No. Do you know how long it took to build? No. Is this a Lego set? No. Did I buy this somewhere? No. Is this from a book? No. Is this from a movie? No. Is this from a graphic novel comic? No. It's like the worst game of 20 questions ever. Pressing no all these times, and the thing's just like, I'll think about it. Yeah, that's okay, Sega. I understand that. But who knows this? Good pun, BFAB. I could have told you that. You didn't have to compliment yourself. Here's a brief view through here. I think some guys are just lazing around now. They'll fix that. No problem. Kind of an overwhelming army. That is one thing I'm seeing as I'm looking across this. Even if you're not focusing your eyes completely on it, if you just blur them a bit, you already get an idea where one side is, where the rest of the side is, and that already gives you some narrative. That already gives you like, oh, they're losing. Also, gotta love the uses of all the red shrubbery. I just realized right now what they were, and I was like, wow. All right. Comically overdone, but there we go. That's a nice handful of barracks and some kind of monument or wall or something there. I do appreciate that it's an original idea, and there are actually a few interesting prints or interesting combinations of parts I'm seeing through here, like on certain figures. So, yeah, nicely done. And there is a little bit more to the end of it, you can see there. It's like a little council, it seems. And it's actually nice to see that it's like overwhelmingly orcs or goblins or whatever the non-human faction is supposed to be here. Because normally you would see things from the more human perspective. But this one gives you a lot of context in the opposite way, which is really cool. I'm not really a mock reviewer. I'm not really a judge or anything. I'm not one that I could probably analyze this stuff. That's all my 2 cents. Next one we have here is called Dragonhold from Rachel from Virginia. This is way too impressive. And from when I spoke to her before, she's actually adding more in tomorrow. And I'm assuming most of it's going on this side of it. But you can see for a moment how the Duplo is a big support underneath. A lot of it put throughout and nicely used. A lot of slope pieces. A lot that really makes this whole wall, this whole rock wall, and also goes along the back and the sides. Kind of nicely framing the whole thing. No problem. It's good to chill. Taking a little further up, we've got a large castle on top. The center part is actually going to be able to turn. There's a turntable built into the floor there. And you can see the top there. It seems very proper. Like I like all these little stone wall elements put throughout there and there as well. That's a good touch. I do like down in the Dragon Cave, basically Smaug from Lord of the Rings. Not only do you have, I think that's Bilbo down there, but if you look carefully, you can see the golden idol, a crystal skull, so just other fun relics thrown in the mix, not all the same piece, so gives you guys something a little more to look through there. Outside of, the obvious dragon. On this side, we got a little prison, which is actually nicely, shelved into the rock wall. Again, it's nice to see it on an angle. And it may be a little hard to tell from this angle, but right inside of this cage is a glow-in-the-dark ghost. Like the old, friendly, smiling kind, which is just a fun thing. As I looked closer at it, I was like, oh, hi. Neatly done. Skull heads, of course. And a big pit of lava. From what Rachel told me, from what when I talked to her before about this, she likes building waterfalls and structures with water integrated into them. So she thought, why not try to build a lava fall or lava waterfall, kind of thing. You can see how far back it stretches as well, going around the back side of the castle. Brick Bunny's TV, that is Joey. And Mr. Defrost too, how's it going? Yeah, it's kind of a nice contrast there with the lava coming down the side of it. And even the contrasts of a sculpture with it. A lot of this is free-flowing, any direction of pieces, against the sturdier bridge, parts. Told you I'm really good at reviewing MOCs. We got a few left in the castle area, and I'll probably call it a night. There's a lot of other things to cover, which I'll probably do throughout tomorrow. If I'm not busy with attending other people's panels or running the Nerf game, which I got everything figured out except for how many people, where exactly, and what time. Because I'm not sure how Friday's going to turn out, but Thursday seems A-okay for that. Moving down, we got Mountaintop Fortress from Sam from New York, which is more of a micro build, which is neat. I don't think I've seen anything. I forgot I could zoom here. I'm looking forward to it, Mr. Defrost 2. But yeah, we got a micro build in this one. I like that the pathway is done using tread pieces. Hopefully it's clear enough. The smaller version of tread pieces that all connect together like a Technic sets, like a chain link for a motorcycle, um, are all here in reddish brown to create a path leading into the castle, which is a nice idea. Personally, I would like it if there was a little bit more windows to show throughout each of the spires outside of each of the towers, because it seems a little flat along each of them. Like, just have like a little portholes of some kind might help with it. But still, a neat idea. I definitely like the roof on the top one, though, using like those large, kind of rubbery fin pieces leaning inward from 4 directions, and even having the backs of them or sides or something. It's like a clip or something, right? Yeah. Okay. So they have the fin piece. They attach a clip onto it, like on the bar end, and then the clip end is facing out towards us. That's what those little squares are. So pretty cool, neat building technique. It's definitely one thing to enjoy about the conventions is learning new techniques people use for whatever purpose. Well, I missed something here. Remember those mats from last year, and those chairs are generally uncomfortable. I remember last year that someone brought an easy chair. Yeah, the chairs are something to get used to. I think a few people did bring their own or have something else as a chair in their area. Yeah, we don't have a name on this one as far as what it's supposed to be. But I'm getting a Legend of Zelda vibe from this. I mean, maybe it's the Link minifigure down here. But I'm also kind of seeing it with the house structure itself. I'm just not sure which. It must be one of the newer ones, maybe. I'm not sure on some of the other details, like anything that's in black in here. It looked like a creature or some mechanical thing. But it's neatly done. Always nice to see the spiral tower look. And a lot of dark red for like the thatched roof look. Still some more to set up. So it's a nice little preview. And for those who are wondering, for the public days, Brian Saviano and I, aka Bricks O'Brien, will be available in this room, right across from here, at the mosaic area. So everyone will be able to come through, building a part of a large mosaic on the floor. And Brian and I, will come around and pick up everyone's completed projects and lay them accordingly. So we'll get to see what the giant picture is. It's new for this year, so we don't even know what it's going to be. But that's what we'll be doing during Saturday and Sunday during the public hours. That's right. That's by the small cafeteria in the second convention hall. So we don't have a name on this one, but it does say it's Hammerstone Keep. And it does have a listing of how many pieces, the sections it comes out to. It's not glued together. Oh, it doesn't say how many pieces. It says it took how many hours. 450 hours. I'm guessing that's from concept to finished product, because that's insane. But there's a lot of nice little things in there. I like the window pieces that are used for the chairs. It's a nice banquet hall. There's a Gary the Snail in the middle of it. Right there. Perfect placement. It actually does blend in a bit. And so it's like a blink if you missed it kind of thing. And the chandelier is nicely done. I like the tail pieces used for the top part of the chandeliers. We've got what looks like a throne room next to it. Watch this magic. Oh, not that one. This coming. Okay. All right. We're going to have to touch upon this. A few other ones. And probably some other stuff later. Because we're closing up for the night. Eventually we'll head on to the main hall. And we'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night, everybody. It will get unboxed eventually. Just a little peek around at some of the setup. Been talking with a couple of people earlier today, but I'm sure I'll catch up more with them later. Had a little word with David Pagano. So it's nice to see his little setup here with the little guys in space. He also has it was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, I think it was. Ideas model. You should go vote for that. I watched a video a while ago, but I think you should vote for that. It's BrickMania venue here. Yes. They are closer to the front. Looking at some Lego brick filming history right here. I do remember something about this from one of them. Oh, nice. Didn't know he was by there. Yeah, now you can see all the different faces, the expressions used for the stop motion, which is pretty neat. Like even the subtle differences in here by like a plate layer, just to get the mouth movement. Very cool. All right, let's kick it. Have a good night, all.